Good day, everyone. This is Myrdith Leon McCormick for World Bride Magazine. This is a special edition. I am filming from Germany, Dusseldorf to be specific. Why am I filming today? Because there's an important event that's going to take place in May 2nd. And my dear friend, Kim Thompson, invited me to it, and I wanted to share with you guys this extraordinary opportunity to support something that has moved my heart, and I know it will move your heart. It is in support of A21. And joining us is Robin, also part of A21. And I'm going to invite these wonderful ladies to tell us a little bit about their organization and what we can do. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good
I'm
morning. Doing
good.
good.
Thank you so much for doing this call today, because I really want to get this information out as early as possible to get people to support. Can you please tell us each your names and your titles in the organization?
Sure. I'm Kim Thompson, and I'm the Chief Development Officer at A21. And I am so excited to be a part of this conversation. And thank you so much, Myrdith, for having us today. And looking forward to what's to come.
Yay.
Absolutely. And I'm Robin Seitz. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at A21.
Thank you, ladies. So this is a heavy conversation to be having on a wedding platform where everything is joyous and spending and do this and do that. But the reason why I wanted to have this conversation with you guys and put it on our platform is because the wedding industry is all about love, gift giving, and sharing and protecting, and family.
Mm.
The key word is family. So when I heard about A21, and it was about human trafficking, but you use strong words. You use the words end slavery. We don't want to think about slavery in this century at all whatsoever. We think slavery was abolished. You guys are still using that terminology to describe the work that you're doing. Can you guys elaborate a little bit about what A21 is, and what kind of slavery are you abolishing?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll start with Robin, and if you want to pick up. So basically, Meredith, there are 49.6 million people today in slavery, and it's happening around the world. So sometimes we think, well, this is not something that happens here in the U.S. This only happens in the developing world, where there's, issues around economy and other things. And that's not the case. It happens everywhere. And so having an opportunity to bring awareness to this at all platforms and talk about what A21 is doing this. So our mission is to abolish slavery in the 21st century everywhere forever. And Robin can tell us more about defining what human trafficking is and what that looks like.
yeah. You mentioned it earlier. We really do kind of define human trafficking as modern day slavery. So to kind of put that into other words, it's the recruitment, control, and use of people for their bodies and for their labor. So A21 works globally. We work in over 20 countries around the world. So we work with sexual exploitation, forced labor, online exploitation. We kind of see different types and ways that this looks all over the world. But as Kim said, we really believe that this problem can end. Just to kind of continue to put that into perspective, it really is the fastest growing criminal industry. It's generating about $236 billion a year. And I think, as Kim said, it happens in every country. It's not a faraway problem, but it's actually very close to home. And so we're really excited to get to have this conversation with you and to get to bring some awareness to this issue and what's happening, both abroad, but also in our own backyard.
It's shocking, and I got goosebumps with you just saying all of this information. The numbers are staggering for
Yes.
me to think that in today's society, with as much technology and human awareness and information we live in the age of information, but yet we still don't have enough information, because like you both mentioned, it's happening in our own backyard. I didn't even realize I live in New York City, that human trafficking was even happening in New York City, in New York itself. And you're like, no, it can't happen here, not in my country.
Yeah.
We're so advanced. We're just better human beings than that. But one of my editors, her husband is a detective And that is what he specializes in. Unfortunately, he says the things that he has absorbed and seen, it breaks his heart every time, you know. So tell me, why did you ladies choose? Because you wasn't forced to come into this career. You guys chose to work with this organization. Tell me, why did you choose this as your path?
You know, Meredith, it's a hard story for me, but that's why there's hope on the other side of it. About 20 years ago, I was in the camping industry. So I was in full-time ministry with a camping conference center just north of Houston, Texas. And I had a little girl come into my office, and she was 12, and she was just consumed with tears and sorrow and crying to the point of being inconsolable. And so after a really long period of time of just sitting with her and loving on her and processing and just allowing her to cry and grieve, she was able to tell me that her dad was raping her and selling her to other men in the apartment complex where she lived. And just like you just talked about your friend's husband that's a detective, it just destroyed my heart. I just couldn't believe that this was happening to a child. I couldn't believe it was happening to a child in an area that I lived. This was happening in my backyard. And as I reached out to try to get help, it was really hard. It was really hard to get someone to respond, to know how to respond, to do something about it. Long story short, over about a 3-day period, I had to let her go back home with her dad. We were not able to get her out immediately, but over the next 3 days, the FBI became involved, as well as our local sheriff department, and they were able to get her out of that situation by doing a raid on the complex. But it brought awareness to me that this was happening. And I didn't even know how to define it. I didn't know the words human trafficking. And then through the course of the next few years, I left the camping industry, went to Fuller Theological Seminary, just became more aware of issues around social justice, became aware of the difference between prostitution and victims and how the vulnerabilities that were created in those scenarios and situations didn't take a woman to a place that they go, oh, I think I'll just get up this morning and be a prostitute. They're victims. They're victims because they're recruited, just like Robin talked about, forced into a place that then they can't get out of. And so when we learn and are aware of how this takes place and how it happens, it brings a whole nother level of understanding. And that's why when A21 does the work that we do on the REACH side of our program, which is our prevention, awareness, and education, we're able to take information and empower people that are vulnerable, empower people everywhere. You mentioned technology, and how could this be happening in a world where we have all the technology that we have? Well, technology can be used for evil too. And so that's a platform that traffickers use to recruit people. But when we can make vulnerable people aware of the problem and the signs of trafficking and what it looks like to be recruited, then they can protect themselves. And so A21 exists to reach, recover, and restore lives who are exposed to human trafficking. But what we want to do is we're very strategic in the way we implement that model. And Robin can talk a little bit more about that, but it's very important to us that we bring hope into this space. And we do that by empowering people. Because when we can educate ourselves to be able to recognize what's around us, we're empowered to do something. When we can educate vulnerable people, we can educate parents, we can educate teachers, then they too can recognize what's going on. And then they're empowered to change something and make a difference. But Robin, I'll let you talk about really the 3 elements of our work and how we do that. But Myrdith, that's how I came to this place. To become aware, you can't not do something.
Exactly.
You have to respond. And so my joining A21 was in response to wanting to change the world for the better and for good. And I believe that's what this organization is doing. And I want to be a part of that.
Wow, you can't unsee what you see and hear.
No.
Right.
Yeah. Robin?
Absolutely. And I think too, I mean, the numbers are massive, right? 49.6 million people. But when I think every one of us who's a part of this work has been impacted by a story, by a person. It's men, it's women, it's children, you know, and I think the reality of this is heartbreaking. But as Kim said, there's so much hope. And I think Kim and I have both been a part of this industry for over 10 years now. And we've seen like the hope that can come on the other side of this. We've seen that prevention is possible, you know, that with the right information, people don't ever have to enter into these types of situations. They can safeguard themselves and others. We've seen that freedom is possible for victims and that survivors can experience restoration. And as an organization, we really kind of work in all aspects of that problem. As Kim said, REACH it's prevention, awareness, and education. It's educating people everywhere to better understand and equip themselves with the signs of human trafficking. Our recover and rescue strategies are aimed at assisting victims. We run 3 national hotlines all over the world. We have a child advocacy center. These parts of our work are really meant to assist survivor victims out of their trafficking situations and into long-term care and restoration. And then that last piece is really about walking that journey out with someone. It's restoration. It's rediscovering, what are your dreams? Where do you see your life going? And it's really kind of doing the journey with that person kind of as they recover from something it's really a horrific experience. But again, I think what gives us hope is that we've seen we've seen the difference that this can make, and we know that that's possible for so many more people.
Wow. So at the end of it, as daunting as it might be to start, there is a rainbow at the end of this journey.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now, you told us what you guys have done to help the situation and better the lives of the victims that are in it, and to stop those that are creating these victims. Tell us now, how do we help? Again, like I mentioned before, it's a weird thing for a wedding magazine to be talking about, but the wedding industry has been doing things. I know that Justin Alexander, one of our greatest designers and from New York, is here in Germany and just left him in Italy. He's going to Barcelona. He supports Vow for Girls, and is another great organization that helps young women that are getting married at a young age, young brides, and they're trying to put an end to that. So this is not a foreign thing for the wedding industry to do, to support organization like yours, where women are being exploited. How can we help you and support you now?
Sure. So, there's a lot of ways to do that. First of all, I would encourage all of your viewers and listeners, or in readers, to go to a21.org. And you can look at the resources that we have. You, as an individual, can become aware of the signs and symptoms of human trafficking and then know how to respond to that. So that's all on our website. There's even a course you can take that it's an hour-long training that just equips you to understand and know what human trafficking is, what it looks like. And so that's a place that that readers and viewers can go to learn more about what we do and how they can be a part of recognizing that. It's all about the awareness piece. But the other thing they can do, you're going to have brides and grooms, couples that as they prepare to embark on this journey together, like, we don't really need anything. We have what we need. Instead of showering us with gifts, shower us with the opportunity to be honored by supporting A21. So you can go to a21.org/donate. People can donate that way. They can set up a giving page or a funding page. We can help them do that. And we would love to be in support of weddings and opportunities. Weddings are such a joyous time. You bring communities together. You've got the community of the bride, the community of the groom, and you're bringing them all together for this great celebration. Sometimes we do wedding trees, at receptions where they're funding honeymoons. Maybe they don't need that. So maybe we fund A21 instead. And so it's an opportunity for people to give and support and to become involved. Myrdith, you said exactly what we need people to know. You can't unsee what you've seen. But we have such hope to end modern day slavery, to end human trafficking, but we can't do it alone. It takes all of us to play a part in making this happen. And so that's what we would invite people to do. We want to invite people to come and be a part of our work, be a part of who we are and what we're doing to really change the trajectory. I can't say that word, trajectory of individuals, so that we can bring a change and we can stop this, abolish it in the 21st century. So that's how we would invite people to come in. You mentioned the event on May the 2nd. We'll be in New York City on May the 2nd at the Omni Berkshire Hotel, who's sponsoring us for an event. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. I know you're going to share the invitation at the end of the interview. Myrdith is going to be there. I'm going to be there. Nick Kane, our CEO, is going to be there. And we're super excited to partner with Omni for this. So it's from 6 to 8 p.m. There is a RSVP link. We would like to know that you're coming so we can prepare for you. But we would love to have people join us for that, to learn more about who we are and what we're about and how they can be a part.
I'm excited, and it's in New York City, everyone. So come to New York, and the hotel is absolutely exquisite. The views are epic. It's a great place to get married in. It's a great place to have your cocktail reception, your honeymoon, your even small weddings can happen there. So it is a wonderful property for a good cause. And we love supporting things like that. Robin, do you have any last minute statements that you'd like to make and bring to our attention?
No, I think the kind of just one final note, I think Kim kind of touched on it. There's so many ways for people to get involved. And our co-founder, Christine Kane, says this thing that not everyone can do everything, but everyone can do something. And I think that's really what we'd want people to do, is to figure out what that next step is for you, because I think we all have a part we can play in solving this massive problem, and we can't do it alone. So thank you so much, Myrdith, for having us on. And we're really grateful to be able to have this conversation.
Oh, totally. And you know what I really want our readers and viewers to understand, now that you have this information, don't get so overwhelmed with the numbers and say, oh my God, I'm not going to make a difference. Do something. You know, a penny is a penny, and if everybody gave a penny, that's a lot of money, you know. So let's just try help. I'm not saying give a penny. If you got it, give it. But they can be sponsors, they can be donors, they can do corporate companies can make donations where staffing can make donations to you, correct?
Correct.
Correct. 501c. Yeah, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yes, we're 501c3. We have monthly sponsors, are called our freedom sponsors. So to your point, if you have somebody that wants to give $25 a month, that's great. We can do that. Be a freedom sponsor, help sponsor freedom. And I think, Robin, what we haven't touched on is our Walk for Freedom, which is one of the largest global events in the world to bring awareness to human trafficking. It happens in October every year. It's in cities around the country and actually around the world. So wherever your viewers and readers are, there's a walk near them that they can participate in. Those walks will go live the 1st of August. They can register, but it's happening this year on October the 19th. So the Walk for Freedom, we would love for people to participate in that as well.
Okay, so we're going to put that on our calendar, and we're going to get our group out. So I love that. I usually do a walk for United Negro College Fund to help raise money for children to go to college, to historical Black colleges and minorities and so on. They get expanded to such big things. So I'm accustomed to the walk thing. I think we're going to add this on also to our walk and our companies that we love and support. So again, give us your website one more time, and so everybody can go take a look at it.
It's A21.org, A21.org.
Fantastic. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. And I am so excited to help in any way I can using my platforms and the platforms of fellow media partners. I would love to introduce you to some great women that I know that would completely support you in this area.
That's wonderful. We'll see you and them on May the 2nd then.
Yay! So there you have it, everyone. These extraordinary women doing extraordinary things to keep our world safe. And it is up to us to support those that are in the trenches. So we're going to encourage you to please visit their website, a21.org, and make sure that you get information. Kim is very accessible. So is Robin. They will answer questions. They will help you set up how your company, if you are a company and you want to make weekly donations, monthly donations, and if you want your staff to be able to make donations on a regular basis by letting it come out through their checks or something like that, because I know I used to do it, please contact them or contact us at World Bride Magazine, and we will love to share and guide this information right to your doors. Okay, then, until the next time, ciao bella.
Bye-bye.